Yo, yo, yo. Primos is back. And let's talk some Raiders football. Salute to everybody popping in. I'm your host, Exact Raider, with not Natural Nate. Can't make it today. He has some. I believe he has schooling to get to, so he's putting his brain work on. But I had to put my brain work on for these Raiders, as there's many moves coming out of Las Vegas. Real quick though, guys, before we get started, prayers to Foster Moreau. Did not go live yesterday out of respect for Foster Moreau with the news breaking around the time we were going to go live. Prayers to Foster Moreau for he's gonna go battle cancer. I forgot what the actual cancer was that he is fighting, but put the hands in the chat of a prayer symbol. All prayers to Foster Moreau, and he's gonna beat this. He's gonna beat cancer, man. He's gonna beat cancer. Fuck cancer. Cancer can go die in a hole. In other news, the Raiders have been making a lot of moves that we have not yet discussed. And I wanted to give my thoughts and opinions on the moves that they have made on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. They have even made moves today. We have breaking news. They signed cornerback Duke Shelley, who played with the Minnesota Vikings, and he had the highest graded cornerback out of PFF. Salute to Raider Scorpio for popping in. Duke Shelley had an 86.4 PFF coverage grade, which was third in NFL behind Patrick Surtain II and Sauce Gardner out of the New York Jets. He had an 84.5 PFF man coverage grade. That is second behind Marlon Humphrey. He had 11 pass breakups, 1 INT, and a 59.6 quarterback rating. And they said, pay this man. I'm assuming this is a Vikings fan that tweeted this, but the Raiders picked him up. And I think this is another death piece, you guys. I know he has a high PFF grade, and he has some good numbers. Yeah, like I said, 11 pass breakups. He had one interception, but the 59.6 quarterback rating, that is the biggest one for me. That is, if the opposing quarterback is targeting you and you have they have a bad quarterback rating against you, you're doing something right. You're locking up the receivers, you're breaking up passes. They're not comfortable, probably throwing to you for the rest of the game. So I really like this signing. It's a wait and see for me. With the draft coming up, I still believe we're gonna hit heavy on the defensive side of the ball in the draft. Looking out for possibly going two cornerbacks in the draft. I can see that us taking two cornerbacks in this year's draft. Our secondary really needs help. We have some rumors also. Keep an eye out, guys. Colts DeForest Buckner wants to play for a contender and could be traded. Buckner has a $19.7 million cap savings with trade with zero dead money. His stats are really good in the past 3 years. In 2020, he had 9.5 sacks. In 2021, has 7 sacks. In 2022, he had 8 sacks. It seems the numbers get better. He's at least going to get you 7 sacks a season. But the cap hit, that's probably where I'm going to stay away from it, because 19.7 on the cap hit, I'm likely not going to take that cap hit. We have also signed, as you guys know, we signed OJ Howard and we signed Austin Hooper, two tight ends. I like these signings, and here's why. These two signings We know Josh McDaniels likes to go 2 tight end sets. What better combination to have Austin Hooper, who's a vet and a proven vet that can get it done, as a starter. Probably not going to be a starter. They may go tight end in the draft. We still don't know. It's still too early to tell. But let's just, think about it for a sec. You got OJ Howard, who has been a really good tight end playing on bad teams. When he was on the Buccaneers, he got paid big money by the Texans. Probably not top tight end money. Let me see the deal he got from the Texans. He was not going to be, because they brought in Robert Gronkowski. They had other tight ends there in the Buccaneers, but OJ Howard wanted to get paid. I believe he went to the I got to see this Texans contract because I know he did get a pretty. Let me see. Who was the team that he played for after the Bucks? Was it the Texans? I got to see his career because I know he went where he went. He actually earned a bit. He earned a good amount of money. Let me see. I can't find it here, guys. Hold on. I can't find it. But I'll say this. From the times I've seen him with the Buccaneers, he's always been good, even with the Texans, playing on a bad team. I like OJ Howard. I like Austin Hooper. This 2 tight end set, adding that to Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Jacoby Myers. This passing game can really be a threat in the NFL. Speaking of the passing game, and shout out to Sean Johnson that is coming in here. Let me see. Where is it, Sean? You just sent it to. Okay, here we go. We got some more breaking news. This is from Raiders. This is from Scout and also Mitchell Renz. If you guys do not follow him on the Raiders Report with Mitchell Renz, it says, here's what Scout tweeted, or he actually he retweeted. It was from Dov Klayman, and it was update: the Bills, the Patriots, the Ravens, the Raiders, and the Falcons are the 5 teams in on wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, according to Pac-Man Jones on the Pat McAfee show. Scout said this: had to figure Renfrow is involved if Hopkins is traded for. Mitchell Renz tweeted, he said, if the Raiders trade for DeAndre Hopkins, I'd imagine Hunter Renfrow would be dealt with. How do you guys feel about that? Possibly, this will be the Raiders starting projected offense. Quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo, fullback Jakob Johnson, running back Josh Jacobs, tight end Austin Hooper or OJ Howard, wide receiver Devontae Adams, wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, and wide receiver in the slot Jacoby Myers. How are you guys feeling about that offense? Would you guys be willing to give up Hunter Renfrow for DeAndre Hopkins? If the asking price is good, I would take this deal. I would swap wide receivers, swap Hunter Renfrow for DeAndre Hopkins. I would do that. DeAndre Hopkins, when healthy, he's another guy that needs to work on being durable. He does have a lot of injuries. He's been since getting with the Cardinals, he has been dealing with a lot of injuries. But when healthy, when he is in there, he is a game wrecker. He is someone that if it's going to be one of those, who can you guard? We talked about this last year with Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Devontae Adams. Now you got OJ Howard, Austin Hooper, DeAndre Hopkins, Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams. Like, really, at that point, it's pick your poison. Who are you going to double? You can't double every single one of them, but almost every single one of them can beat single coverage. So I think Josh McDaniels, if this deal does fall through, Josh McDaniels is going to have a lot of fun working with these, new toys that he has in store. And I believe Jimmy Garoppolo will even have a better season than probably projected just because of the supporting cast he has around him. And then that's not even adding Josh Jacobs in there. Shout out to Sean Johnson with David Long Jr., another guy that we signed, and now Duke Shelley, our huge press man coverage guys and versatile. So I think we are starting to see what Patrick Graham may run. You're not wrong, Sean Johnson. I think we're slowly seeing with the team that Josh McDaniels, Ziegler, Patrick Graham, the coaching staff wants to build. We're slowly seeing it, but we still have the draft. That's why I'm trying to pump the brakes to really see, okay, who's going to be a starter, who's not. Some of these guys, they're camp bodies. They're coming in just to compete. Austin Hooper could be cut in the preseason. OJ Howard may be cut in the preseason. We don't know. Raider Scorpio, I want to get back to this comment. What do you think about quarterback Young meeting with the Raiders today? I don't really have an opinion on it, mostly because I don't think we're going to even draft him anyways, unless the Raiders, for whatever reason, trade up. Which I said, if you do trade up, you go get CJ Stroud. That is my guy. Bryce Young, he's 5'11". I believe he's weighed at 210 pounds, I think. I think that was his weight coming into the combine. I just think, looking at like Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, it's really not a quarterback friendly league when you're 5'11". Not, I don't want to put a knock on him because he can't control his height, but it's something you got to look at. You got the guys like CJ Stroud, Will Levis, some more big body quarterbacks. It may be interesting. It is interesting that they're meeting with Bryce Young, but at the same time, the Raiders have to account for every prospect. In case if he does fall to 7, you may have to consider it. He's coming out as one of the top quarterback prospects in the NFL draft. So you have to, be mindful of that. And I believe the Raiders are, just in case maybe he does fall in the 7th. We've seen crazier things happening in the NFL draft. Raider Scorpio says both tight ends are pretty good block protection and can also produce on the field. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I like. I like these sightings. Raider Scorpio says we don't need Hopkins. Stick what we got in offense. Offense don't need to be messed with. Fix the defense. And hey, no, I agree. I agree with that. But let's not lie. DeAndre Hopkins is a beast when he's on the field. Now the only problem is Hunter Renfrow outside of this past season has been durable. He has been durable outside of this past season. His first 3 seasons, he was, pretty healthy. He made clutch catches. He got open. He was he's a good slot receiver. If DeAndre Hopkins comes in, it's kind of like a Jimmy Garoppolo situation. Can he guarantee to stay on the field? Can he, that's the only problem we're going to have. If he does not stay on the field, then we're going to have issues. Let me see. Here we go. Shout out to Sean Johnson just sending me this. Also, shout out to Raider Scorpio. Yes, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Our goal is to get to 500 subscribers at the beginning of the season. So we still got time. But Sean Johnson, shout out to him. He says Hopkins said he would likely rework his contract if he got traded to a new team. In that case, he wouldn't be that much more expensive than Renfrow. There has been a lot of rumors surrounding Renfrow and how it is unlikely for him to be a Raider when the season begins. An offer I could see for Hopkins would be Renfrow and a 4th or 5th round pick, trade for Hopkins and go crazy on the defense in the draft. And we are a scary team. Make it happen, Zigo. So what do you guys think about that? If it meant, we're not going to spend a lot of money, we're going to give up, a 4th or a 5th, not giving up a lot of draft capital. What do you guys think about doing that? Trading for DeAndre Hopkins, let's say we give a 5th round pick or we give up a 4th round pick with Hunter Renfrow, and then we use the draft to build the defense. I like it because the thing is we were going to build the defense either way. Now, here's a problem. There's some guys in the 4th and 5th round you can get that can be potential steals. You giving that 4th or 5th round pick up is going to take you out of the equation of those guys unless you start, Ziegler starts making some trades to get back into the 4th or 5th round. But hypothetically speaking, let's say we don't do that and we miss out on maybe, a DJ Turner, a lot of, or Overshown. There's a lot of guys going in the 4th and the 5th round. I think Overshown may go in the 3rd. His draft stock is going high. But there's more guys on the, in the cornerback department and the linebackers in the 4th and 5th round that we could potentially get. And I see potential steals. So it's going to be a hit and a miss. Hopefully it won't. But we may miss out on some guys in those rounds. Is that a risk you guys are going to take to go get DeAndre Hopkins? Me personally, I would like that. I think that would make the offense more brutal than they already are. But at the same time, let's think about it also. They still got to produce on the field. Just because you have top name guys on an offense doesn't mean that offense is going to be top 10, top 5. They still got to go out. They still going to go out. They still got to go out and produce. And Raider Scorpio has a point. They may want more for Hopkins. They may want more than just a third round. They may want a fourth and a fifth round pick and Renfro. You're probably likely going to give them more than you're going to chew. It all, like I said, it all debates and it all comes down to the asking price. If the asking price is right, then let's do it. Let's go get Hopkins. And Natural Nate, my brother. Hey, Nate, you able to pull up? Or you still got to do homework? Able to pull up? Let me know, bro. Let me know if you're able to pull up. But yeah, I like DeAndre. Nate has a point. It's not a need, but it's like, yeah, Sean Johnson, if the contract is right and trade compensation is right, then do it. Oh, no. You good, Nate. You good. Stick with the cleaning, bro. Stick with the cleaning. Let me go back. I know Sean Johnson was, bro. Shout out to Sean Johnson. I'm getting back into all of these notes. Let's see. We also signed. Let's talk about David Long Jr., cornerback from the Rams. Another guy that we got. Like I said, guys, these are a lot of depth pieces that we're getting. A lot of people are freaking out because they're like, we're getting, guys that, they were backups in other places, and now we're going to try to fill them in as starters. That's not necessarily that's not necessarily what we're doing here. Let me see. Oh no, that's the linebacker. Yeah, there's a David Long. That's the linebacker. That's like a funny. It's still the linebacker. I'm trying to get the cornerback. Give me the cornerback. I keep getting the linebackers stats up here. Here we go. Finally, I get the cornerback. So in the regular season, the 2022 season, he had 21 total tackles, 18 solo tackles, 3 assists. He had 1 pass defended, didn't get a lot of playing time in his career. He has 78 total tackles, 68 solo, 10 assists. He has 1 INT, and 7 pass defended. Another depth guy, guys. Another depth guy. That's all he is. He is another depth guy. Sean Johnson. Some say we don't have a true wide receiver too because Jacoby Myers is more better in the slot. Sean Johnson, I'm glad you brought this up because people are getting on Jacoby Myers for no reason whatsoever. I get it. He made a boneheaded play that Raider Nation will never forget. That lateral to Chandler Jones. I get it. No one's gonna forget that. But guys, this man is let's look at his measurables real quick. He is 6'2". He is 6'2". Standing at 201 pounds. He is not the biggest body you're gonna have, but standing at 6'2", that is a very good compliment to Devontae Adams. A very good wide receiver too. He can play the slot, but he can also play the outside. Look at Myers' stats from last season and since coming into the league in 2019. In 2019, or for his career, this is his stats since 2019, since he came into the league. He's had 235 catches, 2,758 yards with 8 touchdowns, and he's rushed for 5 attempts, 7 yards. The touchdowns, the yards are there, the touchdowns are not there, but I feel Jacoby Myers in the red zone is going to be a really big threat in the red zone. Our offense, honestly, in the red zone is probably going to be a bigger threat than it was this past season. You got Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, OJ Howard, Austin Hooper, Hunter Renfro, Josh Jacobs. You got tons of weapons. Now, hopefully, they can stay healthy. And again, probably not going to be, some of them are not going to be on the starting lineup, most notably like Hooper and Howard. I feel maybe one of them will get cut. I don't know if we're going to keep both of them, we'll have to wait and see. Shout out to Claudio. He says, who do you see at 7? Honestly, Claudio, it's gonna go either way. It's gonna go either way. I said if CJ Stroud or Jalen Carter's on the board, then you go for either of those guys. But if those guys are not on the board, you trade back and you get a cornerback. Personally, I like Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. Plays very, very great man-to-man. A tall corner. I believe he stands at 6'2", maybe 6'3". We need tall corners. Our cornerback room is short as hell. Rockinson was like 6 feet. Nate Hobbs, I believe, is also at 6 feet. Amik Robertson's at 5'11". We have really small cornerbacks. And I believe you got to go attack the cornerback room now in this year's draft. You got taller guys, faster guys, more physical, stronger. You got to start adapting to the new NFL where guys are coming out faster, they're coming out stronger, and they're coming out taller, you know? So you got to start adapting to the NFL. And I feel like, guys, this offseason, there's a question, and I'm going to pop it in the banner. Real quick. In your opinion, guys, here, I'm going to pop it in the banner. Let me add it. And what do you guys think so far? Did the Raiders get better or worse so far in the offseason? I think it's too early to tell. But if I had to answer this question, a lot of people are going to call me crazy. I think we got better. We got better by signing a quarterback that is known to win. Doesn't matter how he gets it done, he wins. He can punch it in the red zone. We got a solidified wide receiver too. We traded Darren Waller to get an extra 3rd-round pick, and we picked up O.J. Howard, and we picked up Austin Hooper. 2 guys who have proved in the league that they can get it done. Then on the defense side of the ball, we signed a lot of depth. We signed Robert Spillane, who is a good run defender. We signed that dude from the Niners. What's his name? Oh, I'm drawing blanks. I got to go to the signings. We signed a lot of depth pieces, guys. A lot of depth pieces, and I think a lot of people are overlooking on them. Jordan Willis from the Niners, another depth piece. Depth hurt the Raiders in the past. And I'm glad that they're going to get depth. I think Ziegler's plan is this. I said this. He's going to get depth in the offseason. He's going to build the offense a little bit more, tweak it a little bit to make it better than it was last season. Because let's be honest, stats were misleading. The rankings were misleading. The Raiders offense struggled to put up, it felt like they struggled to put up 21 points a game. I'm going to be honest. It felt like we made it so hard to score 21 points, which is 3 touchdowns, guys. We know this, 3 touchdowns. That's all. Like a lot of the NFL teams nowadays scoring 3 touchdowns like it's a hot knife cutting through butter. They do it, they do it in their sleep. When the Raiders played, we couldn't score for shit. So I think the offense got better. Now defense, that's where we got to wait and see on that. But I think a lot of these signings on the defense side of the ball, Marcus Epps is probably the one guy that's going to start next to Trayvon Merrick. But, Duke Shelley, David Long Jr., these are a lot of depth pieces, you guys. Don't read too much into it. He is building depth. The draft is where we're really going to look at. That's where Ziegler's going to go. We're going to go get our starters. We're going to build the depth because injuries happen. But we need to go get the starters in the draft. We're not going to go overpay guys like Jalen Ramsey. We're not going to overpay guys like Jordan Poyer. I'm not saying they got overpaid, but that Chandler Jones signing, guys, I'm telling you, that changed the way Ziegler attacked this offseason. He fucked up on that contract because he signed Chandler Jones to a big contract and he got no production from him. 4.5 sacks, guys, that he got from Chandler Jones, signing him to a big contract. he was not going to do that again. He is going to go build this defense depth-wise in the offseason, but with all the draft capital that he has and so many holes on the defense to fill, why wouldn't you use draft capital to build a defense? It's just common sense at that point. You got 12 picks. You got many, many holes on the defense to fill. You don't need a lot of pieces on the offensive side. You go build that, go tweak the offense, get a Jacoby Myers, get an OJ Howard, get an Austin Hooper. You save money for the future, and you go build the defense. Claudio, I agree with you. It better, but early. Shout out to Raider Scorpio. Let's get to 500. Let's sub it up. If you guys have not subscribed yet, please hit the subscribe button and like the video if you guys haven't already. Shout out to Super Omnicron. Duke Shelley is a bit small. I'm reading the comment before. Duke Shelley is a bit small, but he's a dog. But plenty of big DBS, I think DBS available. Christian Gonzalez, Corey Trice, Darius Rush, a few others, and wow, DeAndre Hopkins is in the rumors with the Raiders. Let me see. If we trade back, do you think Gonzalez will be available? I think it depends, Claudio. It depends where we trade back. What I'm thinking if we trade back to like 11th or 12th, not too far back in the draft, maybe like a 12th or 13th, 14th. I think he will fall there, but at the same time, you can't be too sure. But I think he falls in the middle of the pack. And I agree with you here too. Better, but it is early. It is still early. We still have the draft to look forward to. So far, so good. Shout out to Raider Scorpio. Let's see what they do in the draft. Sean Johnson, we have a better offense for system fit. There's no excuses on offense this upcoming season. Sean, and that's what I'm saying. There is no excuses. We should be putting up 24, 27 points a game. I should be seeing 30 points a game on teams that we should be blowing out. We should be seeing 40 points a game. In a NFL nowadays, that we're seeing teams scoring 35, 40, 45, sometimes even 50 points a game, or not a game, but they're scoring 50 points, in like one game or two games. When was the last time we seen, besides the Seahawks game, we seen 40 points? I feel like when the Raiders score 40 points, that's like getting a Christmas gift. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought I would see it. Like, I wished for it, and it's actually here. But shouldn't we be expecting that, guys? Shouldn't we be expecting 30 points, 35 points, 40 points? Like, it was just awful seeing our offense not being able to do anything. And I'm like, man, this is an NFL offense that has so much talent on the offense. And it was just embarrassing, man. It was hard to watch. It was embarrassing to watch. Like, but I think we're gonna have a good offense. Now, flipping over to the defense side of the ball. The defense is building as we speak. The draft will tell a bigger picture with all the ammo we have. Sean Johnson coming out with the facts. Sean, you need to say that louder for the people in the back. I am seeing Raider Nation lose their fucking minds. We're not building the defense. We're getting backups. What are we doing? I get it. We want to see a splash on the defense side of the ball. But guys, it's not going to happen. We are building through the draft. The draft is what is going to really build this defense. The Seahawks did it. The Broncos did it. The Niners did it. You build a great defense through the draft. You can't always depend on free agency and free agent splashes to come and fix a defense. A horrible defense at that. We've tried that over the years. How many times? I've been a Raider fan forever, but following them since 2011. We've always signed big name free agents for the defense, and it never worked out. I think the only one that really worked out was probably Bruce Irvin, but 1 year, and then in 2017, he was decent, and then he just fell off. Like, it was that's probably one that was all right, but it wasn't like a splash where it worked out. Richard Seymour maybe was one, but let's be honest, guys. When has free agency ever worked out on the defense side of the ball? Let's be honest here. Shout out to Raider Scorpio. Yes, bringing that reminder. Press that like button and subscribe so we can get breaking updated news. Oh, we're going to keep bringing the news all this time. But yes, 500 is the goal, guys. 500 subscribers before the season starts. We're still, the goal right now is 300. We're just trying to, think small, but we're pushing for 500 before the season starts, at least by week 1. By week 1 of the regular season, we are hoping to be at 500 subs, thanks to the Raider Nation. Shout out to Afkasi. What's up, Primo? Shout out to you. I seen that you just dropped a new video too. Shout out to Afkasi. If you guys have not checked him out yet, please go to YouTube and go check out the brother Afkasi. I still have to go check it out. I want to see the opinions on what he thinks about what the Raiders are doing. Shout out to Aladdin. Shout out to Walt. Good morning, Walt. Walt is in the house. Mr. Name that I'm not going to say. I promise I would never say it. 7 or 9 years near the bottom in the red zone. And Walt, and this is why I say Raiders are going to get better, because Jimmy Garoppolo statistically is a better red zone quarterback than that New Orleans Saints quarterback that they picked up in the free agency. Jimmy Garoppolo is known to punch the football in, going the length of the field, having long drives, and he was still punching it in the red zone. Hopefully, no more kicking red zone field goals. That's what I'm hoping for. Sean Johnson, defensive tackles we can't miss in the draft. Jalen Carter, I'm gonna butcher that name. Kajia, I don't know how to say it. Mozzie Smith, Ika, Thule. I'm not even trying that one either. We seen him the last live. I butcher that name, but Sean Johnson, Kancey. You put me on Kancey. Kancey is probably my favorite defensive tackle outside of Jalen Carter. If you, like I said, if you're going to trade back, get more picks. If you're not going to go corner, you could go defensive tackle and go get Kancey in the first. Does he fall to the second? I don't think so. I think his draft stock is rising. Him and Mozzie Smith by the second round. Thule and Ika might be the only defensive tackles that you're going to see on the board when that pick comes to you. But if you want to really like a dog at defensive tackle, you go get Kancey. Or, I mean, if Carter's there too. If Carter's at 7, you get Carter. If he's not, you get Kancey. But I trade back. I'll trade back and get Kancey, get more draft capital. Well, if you watch the NFL 50 years like me, you know rebuilding a team requires 2 great drafts. And Walt kind of showed your age there a little bit. But you're right. You're right. And I think it starts with this draft. Like, I don't expect the expectations I have for the Raiders this upcoming season is not high. I'm not going to come on here and tell you guys, oh, we're going to go 13-4. We're going to go 12-5, 11-6. No, we may have another struggling season. It may be 9-8, maybe 8-9. I don't think we're going to be bad, but I'm not going to say we're going to be good either. We might be in the middle of the pack. Here's the linebackers that we don't want to miss on. Drew Sanders, Dorian Williams. Dorian Williams is going up on my list. Outside of Drew Sanders, like I said, I'm just high on Dorian Williams because I feel like that's the more logical pick. Ivan Pace Jr., Jack Campbell, Owen Papo, and DeMarvin Overshown. What's crazy, Sean Johnson, we talk about, picking up 2 cornerbacks. What do you think about picking up 2 linebackers? I think it would be great if we pick up 2 linebackers. Could you imagine getting Dorian Williams and like DeMarvin Overshown? Like, could you imagine that? It's wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. What do you think about Cam Smith from South Carolina? I like Cam Smith. He's another guy that is very tall. He's almost like he's not tall. He's more of a slot guy. A little hype coming out of him. He's more of he reminds me not of Nate Hobbs, but just because of his height and his weight. Standing at 5'11" and 188 pounds, he's a small guy. I like him, but like I said, we've always had small guys in our secondary. I want to get more tall in the secondary. Reason why a lot of these wide receivers, they're coming out at 6'4", 6'5". Hell, we picked up Cam Smith, who's a 6'6" wide receiver. So could you imagine 6'6" going against 5'11"? Cam Smith may have the talent, but those 50-50 balls, he may lose those. He may lose those. In 2022, he had 27 total tackles, 23 solo, 4 assisted. He had 1 interception. His best season was in 2021, where he had 41 total tackles, 31 solos, 10 assisted. He had 1 forced fumble, 3 interceptions, and he had 11 pass defended. The stats were there. He has the talent. I just think the height is where it's gonna kind of make him fall a little bit. It's gonna make people think twice about picking him. If Christian Gonzalez or Witherspoon is on I think Witherspoon. Let me see his real quick. Because Witherspoon is the number 1 rated cornerback right now. But he also stands at 5'11". I want to get lengthy and tall in the cornerback position, so I'm more going after guys like Christian Gonzalez, Garrett. I think Garrett Williams is also he could be in the later rounds, but he's another guy that I'm looking at. Not Garrett Wilson, Garrett Williams, bro. Like, come on, Garrett Williams. Let me see. He stands. If I can bring up his draft profile. Garrett Williams stands at 5. Oh, no, he's another short guy. I got to get back on because I know there's another tall corner. I just can't think of it at the moment. Hey, Sean Johnson, if you can, give me the cornerbacks. Give me the cornerbacks. Give me the quarterbacks in the draft real quick. Like tall corners. Because I know there's another cornerback that I'm thinking of, and it's not registering in my mind. Just scored on a massive ribeye, $14.47 a pound. Mark, bro, don't start getting me hungry, man. I haven't ate yet. Walt, Raiders need to lay low, draft well, and wait until the June cuts. That's what I'm thinking. Walt. And I think I tell people that that's what they got to do. We have to wait till the draft. We have to wait till June. We have to be patient. We really have to be patient with this regime. They are trying to get out of what John Gruden and Mike Mayock put us through, which is dead cap money. Guys, we are still paying $10 or $9 million in dead cap to Corey Littleton. Like, and then we have dead cap with Derek Carr. I know in total it's like $24 million in dead cap that we're eating. So I believe Ziegler's trying to get out of that. He doesn't want to overpay players and then get stuck with dead cap money and then basically end up in another Chandler Jones situation. Shout out to Sean Johnson. If we want a interception ball hawk specialist, you draft Emmanuel Forbes. 20 interceptions the past 3 years in college. I forgot about Emmanuel Forbes. Thank you, Sean Johnson, for pulling that up. I forgot about Emmanuel Forbes. Public enemy number 1. Shelly is 5'9", 176 pounds. Another, like I said, death piece. I think Shelly's going to be a death piece. But when we're talking about starters, public enemy number 1, that's where I want to be going tall, like getting tall cornerbacks. Getting like the 6'3", getting 6'4" guys, 6'2", is when they're going to play the outside. Shelly could play the slot. I'm all cool putting 5'9", 5'11" in the slot. But that is Nate Hobbs' spot. Let's say we're putting Shelly against wide receiver 4. 9 times out of 10, wide receiver 4 is going to be another 6 foot, 6'1" guy. It's going to be kind of not a mismatch, too much of a mismatch. But mostly on the outside, that's where I want guys to be like 6 foot or 6'2", 6'3". Raider Scorpio. Well, so far, NFL analysis are giving Raiders a bad grade in free agency. What grade do you give Raiders so far in free agency? I know I said they got better, but I'm going to give them a B-. I'm going to give them a B- because they didn't go out and overpay guys that you would think they would overpay. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. I got Ian Rapoport of Raider Nation sending me information. Hold on, let me go down to here. I'm gonna let it load. Okay, he gave it. Joe Thank you, Sean Johnson. Sean Johnson just gave me the cornerback. So we got Joey Porter standing at 6'2", Christian Gonzalez at 6'1", Cam Smith came in at 6 foot, Kilo Ringo came at 6'1", Julius Brett, which is the 10th ranked corner, came in at 6'3". Emmanuel Forbes is at 6 foot. Deontay Banks is at 6 feet. We got Eli Ricks. Eli Ricks is probably one of my second, third round guys that I would like for us to pick up. 6'2", 188 pounds. I like Eli Ricks. Garrett Williams coming in at 5'10". Jalen Jones coming at 6'2". That is another corner that you could get in the late rounds that I personally like. There's a lot of tall corners that I like, guys, and I just like that we need to have more tall corners on the outside. I'm tired of opposing quarterbacks just throwing it up there and we're losing those 50-50 balls. Pause if necessary. We need to start being more adaptable to what the NFL is becoming. But yes, to answer Raider Scorpio's question, I give them a B- because they did not overpay any players in the free agency, and they are attacking they're attacking the needs. We needed a wide receiver too. We got one of the top wide receiver free agents in this year's free agency class, and we got him. We brought Jimmy G. We brought a lot of winning pieces. That's the key thing, guys. We brought winning pieces. We didn't bring guys just because of their name. We brought them because they were on winning organizations. They know what it's like to win. The Raiders organization has been nothing but a losing organization. You go to the Raiders to get paid. You don't give a fuck if you win or lose. You go to get paid because the Raiders will pay just because you have the name. They will pay guys like Corey Littleton because he had a name with the Rams. They paid guys like Chandler Jones because he had a name with the Arizona Cardinals. They paid guys like Antonio Brown because he had a name with Pittsburgh Steelers. They paid guys like Tyrell Williams because he had a name with the Chargers. You see where I'm going with that? The Raiders were always the organization that as long as you had the name, they will give you the bank and you didn't have to do shit to earn it. It didn't matter if you went there to win. It didn't matter if you went there to lose. All you cared about was, hey, the Raiders are going to give me my bag. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Ziegler and McDaniels are saying, no, we want to bring the Raiders back to greatness. We want to bring the Raiders back to winning. If you don't want to win here, then get the fuck out of here. Derek Carr, and I know I said I wouldn't say his name, Darren Waller. Those are two guys that did not buy into Josh McDaniels' system. They didn't buy into what the regime had here. The regime was like, all right, get the fuck out of here then. Because the Raiders, the team, Jacoby Myers and Jimmy Garoppolo said it, the team is bigger than any other player. So Ziegler and McDaniels are going to build the team, not build the player in the offseason, build the team in the offseason. And then when it comes down to training camp, OTAs, yes, they'll build the players up. But during the offseason, they are going to build the team. Why do we think this is what the Josh Jacobs contract holds? It worries me because I think Josh Jacobs is asking for like $16 million, $17 million, and I'm not doing that for a running back. I'm not. If I was Ziegler, I'm not paying Josh Jacobs $16, $17 million a year. I'm not doing that for a running back. I would pay Jacobs maybe $13, $14 million, but yes, Jacobs deserves every single cent he gets. And that's why I said he'll get it, but he may not get it from the Raiders. And honestly, Jacobs, if you're not here for this, then get out. Because no one is above the Raiders. At the end of the day, Raider Nation, we're right. It's a team game. It's a team game. So why are we getting pissed that Ziegler and McDaniels are trying to build a team? They're trying to build a team, not go out and get guys that just give a fuck about themselves. They're going to get guys that give a fuck about the team. So shouldn't we be on board with that? Hold on. Let me get in some more of these comments. Hold on. Mike Downs. Good day, young Raider fan. Solid pickup. Raiders are making smart pickups. That's what I've been saying, Mike Downs. Shout out to Walt. At pick number 4 in my yearly 7-round mock, 20 plus years I've been mocking drafts. Walt, you gotta show us some of those mocks. Mike Downs, they're not overreaching and overpaying in free agency. It doesn't matter what the experts say. You can't build a team in free agency. You have to build it through the draft. And let's remember, guys, building a contender isn't going to happen overnight. I believe next season we could go 9-8, 8-9, but we're going to see improvement. That's what we want to see. And I think we are going to see improvement. But let's not have our expectations so high. I know my expectations are not high. If we make the playoffs next year, then I'm going to be like, shit, bro, you made my expectations for next season higher than what it's going to be. I saw Gruden in 98 to 2002. He did well, but he fucked Tampa's roster, and he did the same to us. And that's what he did too. He was a good coach, sucked at drafting, and sucked at making contracts. Well, rumor is they redid Jimmy G's contract to make it easier for out after 1 year. And well, I think it's because next year's quarterback class. There's there's the rumors that are coming around that is saying next year's quarterback class is better than this year's quarterback class. So who's to say the Raiders are not going to wait it out to next year, and they'll grab a guy they like. They opt out of Jimmy G's contract. They want to start with their rookie quarterback moving forward. But let's be honest. What if Jimmy Garoppolo has a good season with the Raiders? They may still draft a quarterback, but I think it depends which way they want to go. This is probably just like the Derek Carr contract that Jimmy Garoppolo is getting. Well, cornerback board: Gonzalez, Witherspoon, Porter, Banks, Cam Smith, Ringo, Stevenson, Forbes, Clark Phillips, Julius Brents. There's this cornerback room is deep, man. Let's see. Quarterback Richardson, Levis, Jalen Carter on the board at 7. What do you do? Draft one or do you look straight down? You draft Jalen Carter. Well, you draft Jalen Carter. It is hard to find defensive studs in the NFL draft, especially at the defensive tackle position. We had Khalil Mack, and my goodness, biggest mistake on trading him away. That is the biggest mistake on trading him away, because you can find a decent quarterback. You can find an average quarterback. You cannot find a game changer or game wrecker on the defense side of the ball like Khalil Mack was. Not saying Jalen Carter can be a game wrecker, but he has shown on the tape that he can. Can he do that at the next level? We will have to wait and see. The only thing that worries me is his recent news coming out of the pro day where he came in overweight, couldn't finish his drills because of the fatigue. But I will go get Jalen Carter at number 7. If we are serious about building a defense, you got to make that number 7 pick show Raider Nation you're serious about changing this defense. You got to show Raider Nation you're serious about changing this defense. I'll say this, Walt, if Stroud is on there with Carter, that's when it's like you might have to talk it out. I may pick Stroud over Richardson and Levis. It's hard, but I like Carter. I think I would still pick Carter even over Stroud, just because, like I said, you gotta show Raider Nation you're serious about changing this defense, and defensive studs do not come easy in the draft. They don't. Raider Scorpio, McDaniels and Ziegler want to bring back the commitment to excellence. Just win, baby. Yes. No matter if they sign big names or no name players, one thing we want is just win, baby. Yes, Raider Scorpio. Yes. Yes. That's all we want is winning. I don't care who the hell is on the team. as long as they give a fuck about winning and they give a fuck about the team, that's all that matters. Because it doesn't matter. Tom Brady threw over 500 yards, had 4 touchdowns in Super Bowl 52. Why does no one talk about it? No one talks about it because he lost. Speaking of the Patriots again, they went 17-0. Perfect season. Why does nobody talk about it? Because the only thing they talk about is the game that they lost. They lost the Super Bowl. Guys, no one gives a fuck about stats. All these NFL guys on on NFL Network, on ESPN, yeah, they'll pull up the stats. Stats look great. But when you have a losing record, whether that's the organization, that's the head coach, that's the quarterback, stats don't mean shit. Because at the end of the day, here, I'll pull this up. Let's go to this past Super Bowl, guys. Let's look at the stats of this past Super Bowl. Because Jalen Hurts, 27 completions out of 38 attempts, 304 yards, 1 touchdown. He rushed on the ground for 15 carries, 70 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had 4 touchdowns altogether. But what do people remember him for? A fumble that cost him to win the game. The Eagles will not be remembered for the stats that they put up in that game. They're going to be remembered as the team that lost in the Super Bowl. So, Raider Nation, I'm asking you guys, should we care about stats or should we care about wins? Should we care about how many interceptions Jimmy Garoppolo throws or how many fumbles Josh Jacobs has? How many points the defense gives up? If they find a way to win, should be no problems, right? Because the only stat that matters is the win column. 4,000 yards passing, 48 touchdowns doesn't guarantee you a playoff spot. Receiving, getting 134 catches, getting 1,600 yards receiving, 18 touchdown receptions does not guarantee you a playoff spot. Being the number 1 defense in the league or a top 5 defense, Denver Broncos or the Denver Donkeys, I'm talking to you guys. Being the top 5 defense does not guarantee you a playoff spot. None of the rankings matter if you are not winning. You play football. This is with any sport. You play the game to win. Nothing more, nothing less. You play the game to win. Son of River, I do expect we do better than 6-11. I do too. I'm not having high expectations. I'm not getting my hopes up for this season, but I do expect us to be better than 6-11. Walt says you may be right, but you have to look at trading down to the Titans for more picks. Hey, I would not be upset with it, Walt. If there's a bigger plan that Ziegler McDaniels has, I'm here for it. Because the moves that they're telling me, they give a fuck about winning. I know many Raider fans are calling for Josh McDaniels' head, calling for Ziegler's head, but the moves that they're making shows me that they're trying to set the Raiders up for success, not for only the 2023 season, for the 2024 season, for the 2025 season, for the 2026 season. They are trying to set the Raiders up to be great year in and year out. Let me ask you guys this. Do you want to win a Super Bowl next season and be shit for the next 10 seasons after that? Or win a Super Bowl next season, but then beat contenders for seasons after that? That they're talking about the Raiders, that they could repeat Super Bowl championships. This is hypothetically speaking, guys. Hypothetically speaking. Would you rather win a Super Bowl next season and then be shit for the 10 seasons after that? Or you win a Super Bowl that next season, but you're in the conversation of contending Super Bowl like year in and year out. I would rather take that. Now, in reality, Walt, like I said, in reality, next season, I see us going 9-8, but I want to see improvement. And then the season after that, I want to see playoffs. Could you make the playoffs this season? You can. And if we do get there, great. But I'm not going to get my hopes up for playoffs. Because really, I got to see the draft. I got to see what we do in the draft. But in reality, you got to show improvement better than 6-11. You got to go out there and finish games. You got to go out there and don't blow 17-point leads. You got to go out there and blow fucking those teams out. Leading the Cardinals 20-0 and you lose that game. Leading the Chiefs 17-0, you lose that game. Leading the Jacksonville Jaguars 17-0, you lose that game. Leading the San Francisco 49ers 24-14, you lose that game. Next season, I want to see us closing games out, winning football games, and blowing motherfuckers out. Well, I do believe if Levis or Richardson is there at 7, Titans will give us a 3rd and a 5th to move up. And we have draft capital to get Hooker. Is that along with our first? Well, like us swapping picks and then they give a 3rd and a 4th along with that pick, correct? I would be good with that. Would not be upset. Raider Scorpio. Matt Ryan had a great year when the Falcons went to the Super Bowl, but people only remember Brady's comeback. Yeah. 40 Winers had a top defense last year, but got whooped in the playoffs. That's all you're going to be remembered for. You're going to be remembered for the team that didn't get there or didn't win it all. No one's going to remember the stats that you had. You're just going to be remembered as a team that couldn't get the job done, that couldn't win. Walt, no chance we win a Super Bowl next season. I know, Walt. I know. That's why I said hypothetically speaking. What would we rather want? I would rather the Raiders be contenders year in and year out. That's what I want. I want playoffs every single year. Every single year, I want us to be a contender for the Super Bowl championship. Raider Scorpio probably says it better than I did. I'd rather them not make it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl next season and build and be Super Bowl contenders for the next 10 years. I think Raider Scorpio said it better than I did. He said it better. Would you guys want this? If missing the playoffs next season meant Super Bowl contending for the next 10 years after that, is that would you rather take that? I would rather take that. If we're really done 20 years, 22 years of mediocrity, I would take one. I mean, shoot, we've been in 20 years. I could take one more season. If it means 10 or 10 plus years of greatness where we can grow up. Some of us may have already aged. Shout out to my elders in the Raider Nation. Shout out to the elders in the nation. But for guys like me who are young, we can grow up and say, I watched a great Raiders team. Not just one season, but many seasons. I got to live to see a great Raiders team. I got to see the Raiders win a Super Bowl championship. And I know a lot of my elders want to say that part. They want to live to see the Raiders win a Super Bowl championship. It's got to be done right. And I think Ziegler and McDaniels are doing it the right way. If we make the playoffs every year, I would be happy. I want us to have a chance every year. Son of River, this is what I'm saying. I don't just, and the thing is, Son of River, I just don't want to squeeze in and get lucky. People say we didn't get lucky in 2021. I said we didn't get lucky in 2021, but then I look back at it, we did get lucky. We needed a lot of things to go right besides winning out. We needed the Colts to lose one more game, and they choked the fuck out of it. They had the Jacksonville Jaguars in the last week, and that's all they had to do was beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they were in. Win, and they're in. And the Raiders were automatically out. People forget about that. It didn't matter if we won all 4 games. Some teams had to lose in order for us to have a shot. The Chargers, which they lost against, they choked against the Texans, who were 4-7 at the time. 4-7 or 4-8. Somewhere around there. Colts choked. The Browns, we basically went toe-to-toe, and it should have been a blowout, but we went toe-to-toe with the Browns team that literally was at the hospital. Majority of their team was in the hospital, on IR. A lot of things had to go right in 2021, and they did. We had luck on our side. And I said it, sometimes you need luck on your side. You need luck on your side to get to the playoffs, to get to the Super Bowl. But the thing is, guys, I don't want to depend on luck. I want to be screw luck. The Raiders are great. They don't need luck on their side. Now, hopefully, in the postseason, hopefully we can get some of that luck. But to get to the postseason, no, they just play their style of football. Their style of football wins them football games. They don't need the ball to bounce their way. They don't need a call to go their way. They make it convincing that the Raiders deserve a spot in the playoffs. Why are the Chiefs, the Bills, the Eagles now, the Niners, why are they at the beginning of the season, people automatically put them in the playoff picture? Why? Because they feel those organizations earned a spot in the postseason. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to earn a spot in the postseason. Let's hope and want the Raiders to earn a spot in the postseason and not get lucky and barely squeeze in. Because I believe also, if they earn a playoff spot, we got a home field playoff game at Allegiant Stadium. And that's one thing I want to witness too, is witnessing a home playoff game for the Raiders. I wish we could have witnessed it out here in Oakland when they went to the playoffs in 2016, because we would have, if Derek Carr didn't break his leg, we would have witnessed a home playoff game. But guys, this team is being built for years to come, not just 2023. Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler are thinking about the future. They're not only thinking about now, they are thinking about the future. And I am on board with that. Raiders Scorpio, don't build it fast, but build it correctly. Shout out to my primo natural Nate. Niners lucky as fuck. Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, they are lucky, bro. They are lucky. But Kyle Shanahan is also a really good coach. He is a really good coach. But anyways, guys, we are over an hour. Thank you guys for pulling up. Shout out to Walt, Raider Scorpio, Son of River, Natural Nate. Shout out to Sean Johnson, Public Enemy #1. Shout out to Mike Downs. Shout out to, shout out to Aladdin. Shout out to Alfakasi. Shout out to everyone that pulled up. Guys, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, on the way out, hit that subscribe button. Hit that like, hit the bell so you guys can be notified when we go live. Also, as my brother Wasted always says, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Share the link around. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before week 1 of the NFL 2023 season. As my brother Raider Scorpio here says, reminder, press that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Let's get Raiders Primos to 500 subs. Let your Raiders families and friends know about Raiders Primos. We appreciate you guys for the support. Natural Nate leaving the building also. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We're going to see you guys in the next video. Y'all have an amazing rest of your Wednesday. We are out.